It's Sunday the 3rd of December 2000 on a nice bright morning. Here at Daedalus we are waiting for the arrival of the Princess Anne. You can see all the spaces have been cleared, and over to the right you can see the position of the SRN4 which we moved a couple of weeks ago. A small crowd has gathered at the gates, getting ready for the arrival of the craft. People standing on the top of Swift to get a better view, and the towing vehicles all lined up in readiness. The road has now been closed, and we're expecting the hovercraft in about 10 minutes. The slipway is clear, and there's a police barricade by the Coast Guard station. You can just see the spray now, it's just coming round the corner, coming up to the slipway. Vehicles all ready, waiting. Drop off 2 people, then go out and make another return. Now preparing to make its final approach. Operations, getting the ropes ready. Getting quite close now. Everybody's standing by, and it's probably going in that position there. I'm on top of Swift. See its progress. Now heading hard up the slipway. It's just to see how fast it'll go. It's coming up on its own steam. Splendid. For some reason, I don't know why. Griffins are now stopping. Coming to rest in its first position, then it will be towed down by the breakdown vehicles. Here it is in its position. I'm now on the ground level. See the craft in its first resting position. It will then be towed round by the breakdown vehicles. Some of the crowd still watching at the gate. There's the Princess Anne, and there's Swift. There's the windsock that I fitted up. There's Princess Anne behind it. Just connecting up the chains to start pulling for its final position. The rain's coming down now and the weather's deteriorating. It's Friday, December the 15th. All is clear and quiet now at Daedalus, and this is the position that the Princess Margaret will use when it arrives tomorrow on Saturday. This is Princess Anne in her new and final position. So we'll now have 3 hovercraft, 3 X-channel hovercraft here at Daedalus. There is the gate, closed at the moment. Then the hovercraft will be coming, as the Princess Anne did, straight up the white line, past Princess Anne, and occupy the position just there. That will happen tomorrow, Saturday. Saturday, December the 16th. 2 Griffin hovercraft have arrived to join a small cavalcade to accompany Princess Margaret as she comes in from that direction over there. You can see it's very misty and foggy and it's starting to rain, but the sea is calm. The hovercraft are standing by and they will follow Princess Margaret into Daedalus. A closer view of the 2 Griffin hovercraft. Chris Potter and Warwick talking to a reporter. It's still rather cloudy and overcast, but the sea is fine for the arrival of Princess Margaret. The police have just arrived. And there you can see the aerial of the Radio Solent radio car. Crowds beginning to form. Gates are still closed. Princess Anne in its position. People gently waiting. That's the position the craft will go in. And there is Swift. The Griffin hovercraft leaving to join the cavalcade, which is going off to ride. The police boat waiting. It's now fairly quiet at Lee. You can see the crowds gathering. Another view looking up the slipway. And the crowds at the Gosport side. The first view of Princess Margaret, halfway between Ryde and Cowes. Followed by the 2 Griffins. It will be doing a short demonstration off Cowes before returning to Daedalus. The Griffin craft returning, getting ready for the demonstration outside Daedalus. People getting out of the Griffin craft after seeing that demonstration. Chris Potter is about to come down the ladder. And Pat Lawrence and his son coming down backwards. And various other guests. There's Warwick. He's about to come down, jumping down. And various other guests. And the second Griffin hovercraft coming in for before it goes out again for the display outside Daedalus. And there's Lyndon. And the Griffin one comes up the beach and slides back a little bit before stopping and the engine's stopping.
Hello Mike, how you doing?
Christopher Cockrell's daughter going aboard the Griffin for a trip round, followed by Warwick and a group of dignitaries. There she goes, that's Sir Christopher Cockrell's daughter going to have a trip on the Griffin craft. Engines ready. Sorry, that is Sir Christopher Cockrell's daughter going aboard now, and that is John Gifford, the managing director of Griffin. And now a hover travel craft come to join the cavalcade, coming along very fast. Griffin ready to leave with Sir Christopher Cockrell's daughter on board. There'll probably be quite a lot of spray now as it turns round. The Griffin going out to join Princess Margaret. And the second Griffin leaves. Right, there's the Princess Margaret getting closer now, and the Griffin and the hover travel. Four of them together, preparing to do their little cavalcade before the entrance of Daedalus. Getting close now. Hover travel and the two Griffins in front, followed by the Princess Margaret. A lot of spray coming up. Fine view there with the spray on the side. And the three smaller craft in front. Oh dear. Oh, okay. Now on the roof of the N4, the gates are open. Police waiting, and also the crowds in the distance. You can just hear the sound of the N4 in the distance. It'll shortly be coming up. Right, you can now see it in view. And the two Griffin and the hover travel in front. And the helicopter overhead, if I can find it.
We're editing.
Yeah.
I think.
That's all right. The N4 and the Griffin and hover travel. Princess Margaret, the hovercraft and the helicopter. Quite a fine display. And the crowd's waiting. Coming in first now to drop off Mick Wells, and it'll be going out again. The rain is coming down now quite heavily. Off Mick Wells, helicopter straight overhead. And the waiting crowds now on the shore, and shortly the bow doors will be opening. You weren't able to see the bow doors opening, but there's Mick Wells and his team preparing to arrange for the craft to come up the slipway. They're a bit concerned about the amount of shingle that's built up over the past few days. Going out now, getting ready for its final approach. Everyone is now waiting. Griffin's coming in. The crowds. Princess Anne and a boar hunt vehicle just in case. Coming in now for the final time.
Yeah, then we have the dress rehearsal.
driving up now to come up the slipway. Engine's on full boost. Lots of spray, here she comes. Across the road, straight into Daedalus. Last time you'll see an N4 in action. Closing the gates and the crowd beginning to disperse. See the number of people who come in. Look into the background. Princess Anne and the Princess Margaret. Here we are at ground level now. The engines have stopped, but just the power unit producing that noise. And the Princess Anne to the left of the Princess Margaret. The shot inside Princess Margaret with the cars that are going to take the cruise back to Dover. And this good gentleman came all the way on it and had a very good trip. First engine is now going. Waiting to see if we can see any flames coming out of the back. There was a delay in starting because the oil pressure was low in the gearbox. Still just one engine going, the second engine beginning to start. Second engine starting. Watching and taking pictures. The 400 lorry there standby, but we're hoping it's going to rotate, it's going to turn around on its own. 3 engines going now. No, we don't appear to have any flames at the back. Waiting for the 4th engine to start. Fourth engine turning. Shortly the craft will begin to move. Come backwards, a very quick turn. I'll have to move now. Too serious, too dangerous. Maneuvering round again now. I've practically slowed over a moment or two ago. Princess Anne. Slowly making the turn now. Doing a very good job. Very little space between the front end and that building. See how close it is. I'll go a bit closer. See how close it is to that building? Very skillful pilot to get it round in the circle. Practically touching the building. There you are, you can see how close it is to the building. One engine appears to be in trouble. One propeller is stopped. The main problem with one engine. Moving now from slowly to three engines. One engine has failed. Moving round slowly. Gradually moving around. On three engines. There's Nick Wells directing the operation. Extremely windy and very blowy here. All engines are now operating. It's about to make another turn round now. Valves are slowly coming round now. Slowly coming round. Moving faster now. Making very good progress. Coming round to its final position. Coming very close to me now. Moving round. All engines working now. Nearly the final position. Engine slowing down. Engine stopping now. At last it's home with Princess Anne and Swift. Breakdown van standing by. Swift. And engines gradually slowing down on Princess Margaret. Moving over now towards this hangar. Not too far, taking up too much space. So it's going to move over towards this hangar. Assistance is needed to get in its final position and just getting the chains ready to secure it to be pulled by a bore hunt lorry. Bore hunt lorry getting ready to pull it into its final position. Getting the rope out, the steel rope. Joining on the shackle. Fixing on the steel cable. Position. Take one more view from the front of the craft, and that will be the end of this recording. Yes. Final position for them both now. Taken from the top of Swift. That ends this recording. Good afternoon.